Welcome to While We Were Distracted, the podcast where we explore topics that often get overshadowed in the rush of daily life.
All right, listeners, buckle up. Today we're diving deep into one of history's biggest mysteries, the lost city of Atlantis.
A legendary city that's captivated imaginations for centuries.
Yeah, and you know what? We've got a whole stack of sources for this deep dive. News articles, scientific reports, even a clip from a National Geographic documentary.
And each one points to a different possible location for Atlantis around the globe.
Oh, wow. So it's like a real-life treasure hunt. This is going to be good.
It really is. And it's not just about finding a lost city. It's about understanding our planet's history, the forces that shaped it, the incredible possibilities hidden just beneath the surface, just waiting to be discovered.
Okay, I'm hooked. Where do we even begin with all this?
Well, our first stop takes us to the Canary Islands off the coast of Spain. There's an underwater mountain there, Mount Los Atlantis.
Mount Los Atlantis. That name itself already sounds kind of suspicious, right?
Doesn't it? And some scientists think it might hold the key to Atlantis.
But why there? I mean, Atlantis was supposed to be an island, not a mountain.
Well, it all goes back to Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher. He's the one who first wrote about Atlantis.
Oh, yeah, right. I vaguely remember that from history class.
He described it as being beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which many believe refers to the Straits of Gibraltar.
Okay.
And Mount Los Atlantis is right near there.
Ah, so the location kind of fits. But a mountain.
Now, this is where the geology gets really interesting. Mount Los Atlantis is a seamount with 3 inactive volcanoes, and it has what looks like submerged beaches.
Submerged beaches. So like an island that sank.
Exactly. Imagine an island slowly sinking beneath the waves over time. It would leave behind those traces of its past.
Wow, that's pretty wild to imagine. Did anyone actually go down there to check it out?
They did. A research team explored the seafloor using ROVs, those remotely operated vehicles.
Oh, those cool underwater robots I've seen on documentaries.
Yes. Equipped with cameras, robotic arms, they can even collect samples from the ocean depths.
That's amazing. It's like sending a robot explorer to another planet, but underwater.
It really captures that spirit of exploration, the allure of uncovering lost history,
Totally. But hey, let's switch gears for a sec. What about the Sahara Desert? I mean, how does a desert fit into the Atlantis story? That seems about as far from an island paradise as you can get.
You'd be surprised. There's a theory that focuses on a massive geological formation called the Eye of the Sahara, or the Richat structure. It's so big, it was first spotted from space by Gemini astronauts.
Gemini astronauts, wow. What did they even see that made them think of Atlantis?
Picture this. A giant circular structure in the desert, 30 miles wide, with concentric rings. It looks like a giant eye staring up from the Earth.
Okay, that's pretty intriguing. But how does a giant eye in the desert connect to a lost city?
Well, scientists think the Sahara wasn't always a desert. Thousands of years ago, it was lush, green, with rivers and lakes. Imagine a civilization thriving in this once fertile region.
Wait, a green Sahara? That's kind of hard to wrap my head around. What happened to all that greenery?
The theory is a catastrophic event, maybe a massive flood or tsunami. It could have transformed the landscape, wiped out any civilization, and eventually led to the Sahara Desert we know today.
So are we saying Atlantis was a desert city? That's a twist. Shouldn't there be ruins then, somewhere in the desert?
That's one of the main arguments against this theory. There are no visible ruins at the Eye of the Sahara itself, but water erosion patterns suggest that any city remnants might have been swept westward towards the Atlantic coast.
Ah, so the ruins could be out there somewhere, like a giant hidden treasure.
Maybe. And speaking of clues, let's head back to Spain for a moment.
Okay, back to Spain. More underwater mountains.
Not quite. This time it's mudflats. A U.S.-led research team thinks they found evidence of Atlantis buried beneath these mudflats in southern Spain.
Mudflats, so not the gleaming city we usually imagine.
Right. But their theory involves a huge tsunami that wiped out the city, forcing people inland. The researchers believe these survivors then built what they call memorial cities as a tribute to their lost homeland.
Memorial cities. That's a new one. So like replicas of Atlantis inland.
It's a fascinating idea, but there's no concrete proof, like many things with Atlantis. However, the team points to unique features they've observed in the mudflats and historical accounts of tsunamis in the region as potential evidence.
I'm noticing a trend here. Tsunamis seem to pop up a lot in these Atlantis theories. It's like the city was constantly battling against the ocean.
It does make you think about the relationship between ancient civilizations and nature's power. But while Spain and the Sahara offer compelling possibilities, Our search for Atlantis now takes us to another location, the Mediterranean Sea.
The Mediterranean. Now, that's a place I can picture Atlantis being, with all those beautiful islands. Why do researchers think it might be there?
Remember Plato's description of Atlantis being beyond the Pillars of Hercules? Well, the Mediterranean is right there, just past the Straits of Gibraltar.
Okay, the location fits.
And a National Geographic documentary highlights a submerged bank near Cape Spartel in Morocco as a possible location.
Ah, so we're back to underwater locations. Did they send down those ROVs there, too?
It would be amazing to see that footage, right? But there's a catch. This spot is right in the middle of a busy shipping route. It's super challenging to research there.
Oh, yeah, with all those giant cargo ships passing overhead. That makes sense. So how do they even explore a site like that?
They used advanced sonar technology to create a virtual model of the seafloor. And get this, they virtually removed the water from the model.
Wait, they drain the ocean virtually. That's so cool.
Isn't it? And what did they discover? An island that could have existed thousands of years ago, right where that submerged bank is now.
Wow. Did this virtual island match Plato's description of Atlantis?
Surprisingly well, the location's right, and the geological evidence shows powerful earthquakes and tsunamis in the past. Events strong enough to reshape an island or even wipe out a civilization.
So we've got the right location, evidence of catastrophic events. Case closed, right?
Well, not quite. There's one missing piece. No one has found any man-made structures on this virtual island.
Oh, so close. It's like we're almost there, but there's always something holding us back. But this whole deep dive into Atlantis is making me realize something. This search is about so much more than just finding a lost city.
I completely agree. It's about understanding our planet's history and the incredible possibilities that are still out there waiting to be discovered. Each potential Atlantis site adds another layer to our understanding of the past. From underwater mountains to vast deserts to submerged islands, we've looked at a lot in pursuit of this one legendary city.
It's really amazing how different these theories are. Like each location captures a different part of the Atlantis myth.
I know what you mean. The volcanic islands speak to that cataclysmic end. The desert formations hint at a civilization lost to time, and the submerged islands evoke that whole mystery of a world hidden beneath the waves. It's fascinating.
Totally. But with all these theories, one thing keeps coming up, right? Catastrophic events.
Yeah, you're right. Volcanic eruptions, floods, tsunamis. It's like the story of Atlantis is ultimately a story about a civilization being wiped out by forces beyond its control. And that's a pretty powerful image.
It makes you think, for sure. Like, are we really any different today? I mean, with climate change and all that.
It's a good point. But, in all this talk about locations and events, we haven't talked much about the source of the Atlantis myth itself, Plato.
True.
We can't forget that his writings about Atlantis weren't meant to be like a literal history book. They were part of his philosophical dialogues. Used to illustrate his ideas about societies and stuff.
So Atlantis wasn't a real place, just the story Plato made up.
It's possible. But even if Atlantis didn't exist in the literal sense, the story itself has had a huge impact. It's inspired art, literature, even scientific exploration.
I guess you're right. The idea of Atlantis has become pretty real in our culture. Even if it's not a real place, it's shaped how we think about the past.
Exactly. It shows the power of a good story, how a myth can resonate for centuries, inspiring awe and wonder and that thirst for discovery.
Totally. Like, it's those explorers who set out to find a new trade route and ended up discovering entire continents, right? Sometimes the best discoveries are the ones you weren't even looking for.
Exactly. It's about the journey, not just the destination. And our exploration of Atlantis has taken us to some incredible places. And you know what? It's technology that's allowing us to explore the past in these ways we could only dream of before.
It's like having a time machine, right? We're talking about virtual models of ancient landscapes and sending robots to the bottom of the ocean.
It is pretty mind-blowing. And as technology keeps advancing, who knows what's next? Maybe one day we'll not only explore the oceans, but time itself, unlocking secrets hidden for millennia.
Now you're getting me excited. Imagine seeing the rise and fall of civilizations, the evolution of life, the formation of continents. The possibilities are kind of endless.
It reminds us there's still so much we don't know, so much to explore. And that sense of wonder, that thirst for knowledge, that's what keeps us moving forward, trying to answer the big questions about our past, present, and future.
It's true. We're all explorers in our own way, whether we're scientists or historians or just, curious people who love to learn.
Absolutely. We all have this desire to understand the world and our place in it. And that's a powerful thing. It can lead to amazing discoveries and a deeper appreciation for our planet and its history.
This whole deep dive has shown how interconnected everything really is. We talk about geology, history, technology, philosophy. It's all woven together.
It's true. Knowledge isn't confined to neat little boxes. It's a web, and the more connections we make, the more we understand.
And that's what we're doing here on the deep dive, right? Making those connections, exploring different ideas, and putting together the puzzle of knowledge one topic at a time.
It's like a collaborative adventure, full of surprises and those aha moments. Speaking of surprises, did you know some researchers believe the Atlantis story might be based on a real event?
Really? I thought we were thinking of Atlantis as more of a symbol, a metaphor. What kind of event?
Some scholars think Plato's Atlantis could be a distant memory of the Minoan civilization, passed down through generations.
The Minoans, were they that super advanced civilization on the island of Crete?
Yes, they had impressive palaces, were amazing seafarers, had a really vibrant culture. And here's the interesting part. They were devastated by a massive volcanic eruption on Thera, which is now Santorini.
Wait, Santorini? That gorgeous Greek island with the white houses and blue roofs, that was a volcano.
It was. This eruption happened around 1600 BC, one of the most significant volcanic events ever. It caused so much destruction, huge tsunamis, it probably impacted the whole Mediterranean region.
Wow. So the Minoans could be the inspiration for the Atlantis myth. An advanced civilization, the volcano, the tsunami, it all kind of fits.
It's a compelling theory, for sure. It shows how even the most fantastical myths can be rooted in real events.
It's amazing to think that a story Plato told thousands of years ago could echo a real disaster. What other myths might have some truth hidden in them, right?
It's like whispers from the past, carrying echoes of events that shaped our world. And we get to decipher those whispers, separate fact from fiction, and piece together the story of our past.
That's such a cool way to think about it. We're like history detectives. But hold on, we haven't covered all the bases yet. There's one more potential Atlantis location we need to explore.
Oh, I'm all ears. We've gone from islands to deserts to underwater banks. What's next?
This time we're going into the world of geology and plate tectonics. There's a theory that links Atlantis to something called crustal displacement.
Crystal displacement, that's a new one. Sounds intense.
It's the idea that the Earth's crust can shift, changing the positions of continents and oceans. Some people believe a huge crustal displacement event happened way back, causing Atlantis to sink and rearranging the Earth's land masses.
That's a bold theory. And while mainstream geology doesn't really support that idea, it's an interesting thought experiment.
It makes you wonder what other forces are out there shaping our planet in ways we don't even understand yet.
It's a reminder of how vast and complex the universe is and how much we still don't know. And that's what drives us to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep searching for those answers.
I think that's a perfect way to transition to our final part of this Atlantis deep dive. As we've gone through all these Atlantis theories, it's kind of wild how each one reflects what people knew and believed at the time, right?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like the whole idea of Atlantis being this super advanced society really fits with how obsessed we are with technology today.
Yeah. It's like we're looking at the path through the lens of our present, projecting our hopes and fears onto this old myth.
Exactly. And the theories that focus on those natural disasters like tsunamis and eruptions, they definitely speak to our awareness of climate change and how powerful nature really is.
It's a good reminder that we're not just watching history unfold. We're part of shaping the future, too.
Definitely. And it makes you think about protecting what we have, both the physical stuff and the stories that connect us to the past. Just like we're so drawn to the mystery of Atlantis, we should be protecting the cultural treasures we have today.
It's like a call to action, right? We're not just inheriting the past, we're responsible for the future, too.
I like that. But before we wrap up, I have one more question for you and for our listeners.
Oh, a final brain teaser. Hit me with it.
We've explored so many possibilities for where Atlantis might be, but what if Atlantis isn't actually a real place?
Wait, what? You mean like a metaphor? Or a symbol?
Exactly. What if Atlantis represents something more like a golden age, a time of harmony and wisdom that we've lost touch with? A kind of utopia that's not on a map but in our minds.
That's a really interesting idea. It's like shifting the search from a physical location to something internal, like searching for peace, wisdom, that connection with nature.
It becomes a journey of self-discovery, rediscovering our potential, and maybe even creating a world that embodies those ideals.
So the search for Atlantis becomes something timeless, something that speaks to all of us.
And it reminds us that the journey matters just as much as the destination, maybe even more.
So as we finish this deep dive into Atlantis, I want to encourage everyone listening to keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep looking for your own Atlantis, whatever that might be.
It could be a place, a state of mind, or a set of ideals, but the pursuit of Atlantis is definitely worth it.
And who knows, maybe in the process, we'll find something even more valuable than a lost city. We'll discover something about ourselves. Until next time, keep diving deep.
If you enjoyed this episode of While We Were Distracted, be sure to watch the video that inspired it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next episode on While We Were Distracted.